Hi, I'm Nicol and this is the Breakout presented by ECAC Hockey. I'm coming to you this week from Harvard's Bright Landry Hockey Center. Harvard's women's coach marked a major milestone this week. We'll have more with Coach Stone in just a minute, but first your weekly highlights. And right now, the ECAC has 7 teams ranked in the top 10 of national polls. 2 men's teams and 5 women's teams continue to show that they can compete with the best of the best in college hockey. And your weekly award winners prove that.
Cornell and Clarkson taking the honors this week. Your men's player of the week is Cornell's Max Andreev. The senior averaged 4 points per game in the weekend sweep of Union and RPI. His 6 points Saturday night makes him the first Big Red player to record 6 points in a game since 2003. Clarkson's Ethan Heider is the MAC goaltending goalie of the week after allowing just 2 goals on 66 shots in wins over Harvard and Dartmouth. Heider also recording his first shutout of the season against Dartmouth.
Here comes Rigo dipping to the front.
And Rookie of the Week honors go to Cornell sophomore Tim Rigo. The defenseman scored his first 2 collegiate goals Saturday and added an assist for good measure. He also finished the weekend +3. On the women's side, it's Yale, Princeton, and Cornell with the top honors. Emma Seitz is Player of the Week.
And a goal from Emma Seitz.
The Yale junior finished her weekend with 3 goals and an assist. The biggest goal coming in Friday's game winner over Harvard. The MAC goaltending goalie of the week goes to Princeton's Rachel McQuigg, the senior posting back-to-back 30-plus save outings, including a shutout Saturday, helping Princeton serve Quinnipiac their first loss of the season. And Rookie of the Week goes to Lily Delianidis. The Cornell sophomore had a goal and an assist in a 3-0 win over Union, this coming after scoring the game winner the night before against RPI.
Tipped into the goal.
She's averaged a point per game in Cornell's first 8 games of the season.
Over the weekend, Harvard's women's coach, Katey Stone, recorded her 500th win. She became the first female coach of a women's program to reach that milestone. And it's a major milestone for any coach, and especially significant for a coach who's done so much to elevate women's hockey. Coach Stone credits her success with the many players who've donned crimson jerseys for her.
What was it like to finally reach that pinnacle, though?
You know, to be quite honest, I didn't really pay any attention to that. You know, people have a tendency to remind you of those things the closer they get. And so, but it's just, you know, quite frankly, it's nice to have it over with. And, you know, so proud of our team and the opportunity to share that moment with them in the locker room after the game. And, you know, and the competitor in me says it should have happened a lot sooner, you know, I mean, for various reasons, and COVID not being the biggest. I mean, I just, you know, we've been so fortunate to have a lot of success in this program, and that's the expectation. And so these things are wonderful, but they're born out of unbelievable participation by our players and coaches throughout the program and the support of the university. So, you know, it's great for everybody.
Is there a particular game or moment in your career that stands out over 27 seasons?
There are so many, you know, there were so many firsts, I think. You know, I don't actually remember the first win of when I was head coach. I don't remember that. I do remember the first time we beat UNH. Or tied UNH was the first thing, and then beat them, and then won a national championship and a Beanpot championship. I mean, I think I remember those moments. I remember first for our athletes and their successes. And so, no, I mean, the kids probably remember way more than I do. So I've got to kind of keep moving.
And it's really comes at a time where there is a spotlight on women athletics and equity in sport. And I think it's really important to highlight that and the work that's being done, especially in college hockey, to bring that equity to the sport. And you've played a big role in that. Talk about some of that, especially with the social media push and the championship games and expanding the tournament and what that means to you.
It means everything. I mean, last week when we were able, you know, we've been working at this since April. And I think one of the benefits of COVID was that we actually had very constructive coaching body meetings because we weren't in Naples on the beach or in some tiki bar or whatever it is. And so there was an opportunity to really be productive, and we took advantage of it. And, this conversation and this ask has been going on for years, but without a lot of push behind it. And so we took advantage of the time and created an expansion committee and moved forward and didn't settle for, we don't think this is going to happen. And clearly what was born out of women's basketball made a huge impact on, our path forward and continuing to keep our eye on the ball. And so last week was a huge, huge day in the history of women's hockey. And, we just got off a national meeting where we were moving forward with the bracket they suggested, and our charge is to have this happen this year. And so I think, for me, really honored to be a part of that, but I also feel like it's our responsibility. And, things get done when coaches speak on their players' behalf. And this is truly all about our student athletes and providing an incredible championship experience for more student athletes. There's so much parity in women's hockey. It's not like, back in the day where there were only a handful of great teams. I mean, if you don't show up, you're going to get beat. It doesn't matter who you're playing, where you're playing them. And so I really believe that we're ambassadors of the game while we're in it. And we have a responsibility to do everything we can to grow the game, provide as many opportunities for our student athletes, and hopefully do it in a united front.
And women's hockey has changed dramatically, and I'm sure you can speak to that. You played at UNH, and you look at the popularity of it now. Youth hockey programs are so strong, and that channel into the college programs are so strong. And to continue that is probably really important.
No question about it. I mean, there was a point where it was the fastest growing sport in North America, and I'm not sure if it still is, but anyone who gets on a pair of skates or and puts a hockey stick in their hands, it's exhilarating. And just the number of schools that sponsor women's hockey, and we hope that number grows. And there are also all these other pieces that we can continue to work toward. But the expansion piece was critical for us. And and I think that there were probably a lot of people out there that didn't think we could do it. And it's amazing what you can do when you're not concerned about getting the credit for it, but you're owning your responsibility of being a part of our game.
When we do get to that expanded tournament in the spring, the ECAC will likely be well represented. Right now, 5 of the top 10 teams in women's college hockey are from ECAC.
The coaches in the league are so proud of the league because that's where it all started. It was ECAC hockey before anything else. And to have so many strong, respected teams in college hockey come out of the ECAC is just, it's awesome. And our students love being here. They love being a part of this. They understand how the history of the ECAC and how we want to continue to drive the bus.
And there are currently 41 schools that sponsor women's hockey programs. With the expansion of 11 teams in the field, 27% of the teams will now have access to the championship bracket, putting them in line with the men's side. If you'd like to read more on this, you can go to ecac.com. When it comes to team travel, most teams go by bus, and those bus trips usually include lots of movies. So who picks the flicks and what are the best movies? Check out what some of your favorite players had to say.
It's a very loaded question. I would say Ready Player One is probably the best movie I've seen on the bus, but you got to know your audience. So I think that's the biggest thing. We usually get the freshmen to bring about 6 to 8 movies, depending how long the bus trip is.
I think when it comes to bus trips and movies, comedies are always a good go-to. So I'd say Wedding Crashers or a Will Ferrell movie.
What's your go-to movie and who picks on bus trip? Go-to movie is High School Musical and Tony Macy picks.
Great movie from bus trips is Elf. Definitely now with the Christmas coming up, getting the Christmas season, getting the Christmas spirit. And the 25s choose movies for the bus trip.
Best bus movie would have to be Talladega Nights, and for us we have some of the younger guys pick up movies before each road.
My favorite movie on the bus is The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg.
This year the freshmen are in charge of the movies. We've only had 1 bus ride and we had 2 good movies, Bad Grandpa and Interstellar, but I would think personally, my favorite bus movie might be The Other Guys.
I'd say best bus trip movie is gonna be Borat. Unbelievable movie, always gets the boys laughing. This upcoming bus trip, we got our 25s picking, so expecting something nice.
We watch my dog. I think the classic is A Star Is Born.
And that's the Breakout presented by ECAC Hockey. We'll see you next time.